What's up, everybody? This is your boy King Dizzle, and I'm here with my boy,
the King JR,
and welcome to NGB,
the Halloween special.
And today, guys, this will be our very first Halloween special, and as we said in the update video, it's not going to be anything too crazy, but it is going to be something, a first time goer on NGB. And today, guys, we're going to be doing the top 10 best villains in anime. Now, it is sort of weird just doing a top 10 on a Halloween special, but it is our first top 10 video. And keep in mind, when it comes to Halloween, it's just that, that holiday of sinisterness and wickedness. So, what better way to sort of betray that, or just sort of, represent that, than through the villains of anime. After all, we've seen time and time again just how sinister these villains in anime can be at times. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead.
Flipping Goku, man.
Yep, there you go. Goku. There you go. But no, we'll talk about that.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
Anyways, but yes, this will be the top 10 best villains in anime. But before we do that, JR, you wanted to make an announcement?
You have a quick service announcement. This week, into next Wednesday, is Red Ribbon Week. Basically, Red Ribbon Week, we're celebrating a drug-free lifestyle because a DEA agent by the name of Enrique Camarena was kidnapped, tortured, and killed, and then buried alive. Not in that exact order. So, while you kids are out there, you college kids, you high school ruffians are out there partying, don't be drinking alcohol, and don't be smoking the deuce.
Alright.
See you guys in the video.
And with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump straight in.
Woo!
Number 10
is Fire Lord Ozai, the Phoenix King, the undeniable true ruler of the Fire Nation.
Fire Lord Ozai is definitely recommended on, or was definitely put on here for number 10 for a reason. He's great with strategy, has won countless battles over the years, and granted, while he's never been a general or a part of the army, aside from being, well, the leader of the Fire Nation, he's definitely cutting and powerful in his own rights as the Fire Lord, and there's a reason why he's the leader of the Fire Nation in the first place after all.
And let's talk about some of the reasons why we think he's so dastardly and evil. 1, he killed his own wife.
And 2, he, in some way, shape, or form, I want to say kill his father? Is that what happened?
I thought it was his grandfather. One of the two, the previous Fire Lord, he had killed.
That's definitely a true factor. But anyways, yes, Fire Lord Ozai definitely takes the spot at number 10 for our top 10 spot. The only reason he's not up here higher is because of, well, obvious reasons.
He got beat by a 12-year-old.
I mean, Grant.
A 12-year-old. But beyond that, just check out this man's legs when he's not wearing his underwear.
Not to mention the fact that this guy isn't really great in terms of motivations or power, and compared to everyone else that we have on our top 10s list, yeah, this guy could easily get wiped out if he wanted to. Just like in the fight against Aang.
A 12-year-old, Dizzle! A 12-year-old!
No, Fire Lord Ozai, you're not wearing pants.
No! My royal parts are showing!
Number 9.
Griffin from Berserk. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine that you had a best friend, alright? He seems pretty cool. Then one day you decide that you had to go leave in order to find yourself, and he's like, no, I need you on my team. So you had to beat him in a duel, and then apparently that pretty much ends in the most horrible way for him. And then, after all that, let's say your best friend that you abandoned in order to go find yourself, you came back to him, saved him, and how does he repay you by saving his life? By basically murdering all your friends and, well, let's just say doing not PG things to your girlfriend.
I mean, he gets to this kingdom after saving the kingdom, and the king asks him to do one thing. Right, Dion? One thing.
Yes, during the time period, Griffin only had one task to do after saving the kingdom in order to marry the king's daughter.
He had to wait one night. One night. But no, he couldn't wait one night. He had to sneak into that princess's room and do the nasty. That's what I'm talking about. He did the nasty. I ain't saying no shortcuts. He went right into it.
Aside from that, before Griffin basically became the bad guy of the entire Berserk series, Griffin was definitely a good guy who was betrayed by that. And while his tactics were a bit questionable in some areas, he was definitely a good guy through and through. However, after he was brutally tortured since he betrayed the king's trust, he basically decided that he wanted more power, and in order to gain more power, he basically had to kill all of his best friends in order to become a deity.
Not just a deity, a satanic one at that. And it does. His transformation into a deity didn't even look cool, might I add.
Too bad we don't have the clip to it, at least not yet.
It's not PG for YouTube. This is a PG-13 channel, Dion.
Which, by the by, we're probably going to put a disclaimer, so if you want to skip all the gore that we may or may not put into this video, just click away to this. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump straight into the next one, because the only reason Griffin is only at number 9 is because while he is powerful, we haven't seen much of his power, and his motivations as a villain is pretty much just that of wanting more power.
And lastly, before we move on, let's talk about that hair, Griffin. That hair is not villainous. I'm just saying it now.
Griffin!
Stay away from me. If you touch me now, if you so much as touch my shoulder, I'll never be able to.
Number 8 on the number 8. This is number 8 on the top 10, number 8. Lady Ragnar from Kill la Kill. What can you say? She's a mother of 3 and still is able to become a leader of a cult that worships basically leather. Clother leather. As in clothing. Okay, let's explain. So, apparently in the universe of Kill la Kill, clothing basically gives you superhuman powers. And Lady Ragnar sees that the clothing, aka the life fibers, are basically deities that are superior to humans. So, she forms this cult. She basically tries to rule over the world and make life fibers the superior beings. And despite the fact that even though she was defeated on her own whim, she was still incredibly powerful. And look at this kick. She literally kicks one of her daughters with a single push of her leg. Like, holy cow. And while she has done some terrible things like killing her own husband and killing her own child just because it was weak, the only reason Lady Ragnar makes it at number 8 is solely because all of her power is based on how much life fiber she consumes, and she nearly destroyed the entire world because she consumed so much life fiber and was able to manipulate it under her whim. Take away all that and she's just another crazy lady.
In my opinion, nothing is uglier than a person wearing clothes that don't fit them!
3.5 times 2. Now, let's talk about this smooth, fine, scrum diddly umptious, heaping muscle mass of a man's man, Toguro from Yu Hakusho.
I think it's pronounced Toguro.
That's what I said.
Right. Anyways, Toguro, he definitely puts the eye in intimidation, especially with those hunkin' muscles. Man's man, that's for sure. Anyways, Toguro is definitely presented as a powerful demon of sorts that, at first, it seems like he's defeated so easily. Like, yay, the heroes won, but in reality, he's actually alive, and man, is he more powerful than he was the first time he's introduced. Toguro is definitely an interesting villain, and that definitely puts him higher on our list, just namely because his motivations are actually kind of interesting, least to say. because it's not very clear, even at the end of the arc, the Dark Tournament arc, it's not very clear of just what Togoro's desire was or what his motivations were, which makes him an interesting villain compared to most of our villains here on the top 10 lists. But there's definitely one thing to remember, is that there's a reason why Togoro was a memorable villain when it comes to classic animes, not because of the bulky muscles, but simply because he was using 80% of his power the entire time.
But beneath it all, I suspect you would find just a normal man with a wounded heart and a broken dream.
Number 6! Seriously, JR? You seriously don't know about this anime? Or at least the villain 2 of?
I have no idea. See, One Piece is one of those trash animes that's for nerds.
Alrighty then. Well,
You nerd. Nerd.
righty then. At number 6, we have Doflamingo for One Piece. Doflamingo being one of my personal favorite villains of all time, thank you very much. But unfortunately, he's only here at number 6 solely because of his power. In terms of his motivations and just his origin story, it's definitely interesting, and it's definitely creepy in more areas than one, that's for sure. Let's start off. Let's say you're a powerful kid because your family's part of the world government or whatever. Cool. But then your father decides that we should lose all that power and become normal civilians. Alright, nothing too bad of sorts. Now let's say the entire townspeople know that you're part of a world government family and decides to burn your house to the ground, crucify you, your father, and your brother, and then your mother dies of an illness and then you survive, and then now the whole town's out to kill you like rabid dogs or something like that. Yeah, that's basically Doflamingo's origin story in a nutshell. And because the fact that he was part of a world government family of sorts, the Celestial Dragons, he's grown up to be sort of a spoiled kid. And
that's why NGB doesn't join guilds.
And what happens when you give a spoiled kid power? You basically get Doflamingo, a man who takes pleasure in killing people, ruining the lives of hundreds of other people, and just wow. Just wow, man.
That or you get a school shooter.
I mean, you're not wrong.
もはやお前は俺の意のままに動く操り人形だ。くたばらんとはな。串刺しにでもしてやるか。仲間同士で殺し合いをさせてやるか。
Five is a number.
Okay, two things. One, is that a man or a woman? And two, did that man just summon a freaking meteor from the sky?
Why, yes, he did. That is one of Madara Uchiha's many abilities that was stolen. Madara Uchiha is the legendary leader of the Uchiha clan, founded by Konoha Hagakure, with the intention of beginning an era of peace. When the two couldn't agree on how to achieve that peace, they fought for control of the Hidden Leaf Village, a conflict which ended in Madara's death. However, Madara rewrote his death and was revived years later.
In that process, he also betrayed Obito just so he can gain the powers of all the 9 tails and summon the legendary 10 tails to gain even more power to take over the freaking world.
This is in the 4th Shinobi War that Madara started.
So yeah.
And it was actually Toby acting under Madara's name.
So yeah, you can imagine why this guy would be at number 5 on our top 10 list. Did we mention
Kabuto resurrects the real Madara to show he knows that Toby is not the true Madara and forces him to accept it.
Did we also mention this guy can summon meteors, by the way? Here we are at number 4 with 4 Cups of Joe.
Introducing the maker of widows, creator of orphans, the gender fluid thing that insurance companies love the most, Mr. Finger Planet, the ruler of the Frieza Force, Lord Frieza!
Hashtag Frieza Force. Okay, let's talk about Frieza. You love him, you hate him, you love to hate him. Ruler of the galaxy, Frieza. He's one of the most iconic villains in the Dragon Ball series, and for good reason. When this guy's first introduced into the series, he basically destroys an entire planet with just the tip of his finger. Holy cow!
Not to mention wipes out 99% of an entire civilization.
Keyword 99%. But aside from that, Frieza has shown himself when he's first introduced time and time again why he's the ruler of the galaxy. His power keeps on growing with each transformation, and don't even get us started on that golden form because ooh man does that look stylish on him.
And let's not even get into the fact that each transformation, except for that one where he has 3 heads,
I thought it was just the one head.
Just the one head, makes him look like even more of a woman.
But all in all, Frieza is definitely a sinister man who takes pleasure in the misery of others and enjoys killing other people just for the sake of fun.
I mean, just think about that laugh.
Oh my! This is stupendous! Wow, what a great show! Unbelievable, just look at that!
El numero tres.
Anti-Spiral, it's basically the opposite of energy. There you go. Oh, and also has the power to destroy galaxies.
With just the tip. That's right, just the tip.
Just the tip, everybody. The Anti-Spiral has been known to be, well, basically the opposite of Spiral Energy. And once these duo of our main characters are introduced to the Anti-Spiral, it becomes clear that they just want to do nothing but destroy their entire race, solely because they want to protect the universe, because they believe that the Spiral Energy is, well, dangerous, and because they have the power to, well, basically destroy galaxies. That's why they're at number 3, and because they do have somewhat good reasons and good motivations for doing so.
Just the tip, everybody, just the tip.
Just the tip. Hashtag just the tip.
ならばこの宇宙必ず守れよ。
当然だ。お前も信じてくれ。俺たち人間を。
Drum roll, but not drum roll for number 2.
Seriously, why is this girl at number 2? She's not even waifu material. Somebody get this trash off my screen.
Well, here we go with Yuna from the Future Diaries. Who is and what is Yuna? Well, it's simple. She's a yandere, but not just any yandere, a yandere that has the power of a deity. How so? Well, she could create a timeline, destroy a timeline, and create another one on an off day. There you go, or a hump day. Wait, is today Wednesday or Tuesday? Anyways, Yuna. She was first introduced as just a yandere character at first. She was just there to support the main character and whatnot, but then it was revealed at the end, which we'll try to do our best to keep spoilers out of this top 10 list of sorts, but basically, spoilers alert, just a little bit, so if you want to skip, here you go, here's an innuendo, here's a time, there you go. Okay, Yuna apparently is revealed at the end to be this deity of sorts, and you know her precious lover that she's been trying to protect throughout the entire series? Yeah, it turns out in the first timeline, she kills him. And then the second timeline, she kills herself just so she can exist in the second timeline.
Wait. You telling me this freak, this schoolgirl, who again is not waifu material, can wipe out an entire timeline and then recreate it just like that?
Basically with the tip of her fingertips. Hashtag just the tip. Just the tip.
Remember, NGB, we want this to be a national holiday. Go on Twitter, say hashtag just the tip.
And don't put your wiggly and crazy, kiddos.
Now that we're all here, let the death begin.
before number 1, we'd like to introduce some
honorable mentions.
Goku. You love him and you hate him, especially.
He is the main villain of the Dragon Ball franchise. Think about it. Almost every fight he insinuates, i.e. Dragon Ball Super, turning into power.
Yeah, he did pretty much mess everybody there with the Tournament of Power.
And next, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I mean, this guy's plain evil. First of all, he throws Jotaro's dog, kills it and throws it in like a trash pit. I'm not exactly sure what it was. It was a bin of some sort.
Didn't he also kill his stepfather, technically?
He killed his stepfather. And then next, we got that little rat thing from My Hero Academia.
Zero or whatever that freaking... I don't know how to speak Japanese.
His beady little eyes. It's so evil, and that thing is evil, I'm telling all of you. Next, we have Bakugo. Why don't you tell me a little bit about why Bakugo is an honorable mention?
You know, if it wasn't for the fact that he really wants to become a hero and refuses to become a villain, just think about it for a second. Just think, and then come back to us.
And last but not least, if it wasn't for this man's weakness, he would be number 1.
Meow from Pokemon!
He is the champ that runs the camp. Let me tell you right now, the leader of Team Rocket.
Meow, the man, the myth,
the legend,
and the cat.
Let the fur fly. And at number 1, dun dun dun, the villain of the greatest anime series to never ever be published or completed at this moment in time, Kong from the Elites.
Con, but yes, Elites from yours truly, NGB.
That's right, the next generation bros. Why don't you tell them a little bit about Kong?
Alright, what's there to say about Kong? I guess we could spoil a little bit about what we're gonna see in the pilot. And for our new series, Elites, Kong is gonna play as one of those leaders, those biker leaders, sort of gang leaders type of character. But he's gonna be powerful, sinister, and he's going to love in the bathing in the is it blath or blood of his enemies?
It's gonna be blood and blath. And just to give you guys a little idea of what his power scales, his power, the power behind his punches are so powerful that when he punches the air, it transcends space-time, creating a portal
through time and space. And if he really wanted to, he could destroy a fraction of the Earth with his full might. Kong is definitely going to be an iconic character we're going to use for the Elite series, and he's definitely going to trigger certain events in the stories that we won't spoil yet, but trust us guys, you don't want to miss the Elites when we release the pilot, which will be sometime in 2019.
Right.
Don't you dare bring up the storyboard, I swear on everything.
So about this storyboard, here we go. So we've been like, dun dun dun.
Thank you all so much for watching our very first Halloween special and our very first top 10 episode on the NGB channel. Now I know what you're thinking, a top 10 list in order to cop out for a Halloween special? And yes, you would be right. But don't worry, we'll definitely have something planned for our next Halloween special. It's just, since we were so busy with everything else, we were sort of kind of rushing this Halloween special. But we hope that you still like it, and we hope that you still appreciate all the love and support that we put into this thing. Anything you would like to say for these last few words, JR?
The only thing I have to say is NGB!
Hashtag NGB.
Hashtag just a tip.